Welcome to Hydrohaven. Today, we're diving into the world of DIY potting soil. If you've ever wondered why your container plants aren't thriving, or if you're tired of spending a fortune on commercial mixes, you're in the right place. Let's get started with some valuable tips and insights. If you've struggled with container plants that never seem to thrive, constantly dry out, or develop mysterious problems despite your best care, the culprit is likely hiding in plain sight, your potting soil. Container gardening comes with unique challenges that garden soil alone simply can't address. Roots confined to pots quickly deplete nutrients, suffer from poor drainage, or conversely, dry out too quickly in commercial mixes that prioritize lightweight shipping over plant health. Worst of all, quality commercial potting soils can cost upwards of $15 to $30 per bag, making container gardening an expensive proposition when you're filling multiple pots. Here at Hydrohaven, I'll show you how to transform ordinary garden soil into exceptional container mix that outperforms store-bought options at a fraction of the cost. Understanding container soil requirements is essential for successful gardening. Container plants need a soil mix that provides the right balance of moisture retention, drainage, and nutrients. Unlike garden soil, which can compact and restrict root growth, a good potting mix remains loose and airy, allowing roots to thrive. Container plants live in a fundamentally different environment than garden plants. With limited soil volume, container plants need growing media that simultaneously retains moisture, provides excellent drainage, resists compaction, and supplies steady nutrition. This seems contradictory. How can soil both drain well and hold moisture? The secret lies in creating the perfect balance of components that each serve specific functions in your potting mix. Garden soil alone fails spectacularly in containers because it quickly compacts, cutting off oxygen to roots and creating drainage problems that lead to root rot. However, with the right amendments and proper preparation, your garden soil can become the foundation of premium potting mix that costs pennies on the dollar compared to commercial products. Now let's talk about gathering materials and preparing your garden soil. This process is essential to ensure your plants thrive. We'll need to gather organic matter like compost, peat moss, and perlite. Mixing these components with your garden soil will improve aeration, drainage, and nutrient content. Remember, the key is to create a balanced mixture that supports healthy root development, so take your time to prepare it well. For your base components, you'll need garden soil from a healthy part of your yard, quality compost, coarse sand, builder's sand or river sand, not play sand, and an aeration material like perlite or pumice. Optional but beneficial additions include coconut coir for water retention, worm castings for microorganisms and nutrients, aged bark fines for structure, and biochar for microbial habitat. You'll also need some basic tools: a garden sieve with 1/4 inch mesh, a wheelbarrow or large tub for mixing, garden gloves, a measuring container, and a tarp for mixing larger batches. With these simple materials, you're ready to transform ordinary dirt into container gardening gold. Start by collecting soil from established garden beds rather than compacted lawn areas. Dig 4 to 6 inches below the surface, removing any rocks or debris. This topsoil layer contains valuable organic matter and beneficial microorganisms that will jumpstart your container mix. Next comes sterilization, a step many DIYers skip but shouldn't. Spread your soil on a tarp in direct sunlight on a hot day, letting it bake for 1 to 2 days and turning occasionally. This solar sterilization kills weed seeds and pathogens without eliminating all beneficial microbes. For smaller batches or during cooler months, you can oven sterilize by heating moistened soil at 180 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes in a covered, oven-safe container. Be prepared for an earthy aroma throughout your home. After sterilization, sift the soil through your garden sieve to remove remaining rocks and clumps. This creates a fine textured base that integrates well with other ingredients and prevents drainage issues in your containers. Now let's dive into creating the perfect mix and customizing it to suit your plant's needs. Every plant has its own preferences, so it's essential to tailor your potting soil accordingly. Whether you're growing succulents, vegetables, or flowers, you can adjust the ingredients to create the ideal environment for them to thrive. After years of experimentation, I've found this ratio works exceptionally well for most container plants. 30% prepared garden soil, 40% quality compost, 15% coarse sand, and 15% perlite or pumice. This balance provides ideal water retention, drainage, and nutrient availability without breaking the bank. For mixing, measure each component using your bucket or measuring tool, then combine in your wheelbarrow or on your tarp. If using a tarp, grab opposite corners and roll the materials toward the center, repeating with different corners until thoroughly mixed. The goal is a consistent blend with no visible streaks of individual components. For enhanced water management, I incorporate hydrated coconut coir into my mixes. Unlike peat moss, coir is renewable and holds water exceptionally well without becoming hydrophobic when dry. Soak coir bricks according to package directions, then add about 10% hydrated coir to your basic mix, adjusting other components to maintain proper proportions. The true advantage of DIY potting soil is customization. For vegetables, increase compost to 50% and add 5% worm castings to feed these heavy nutrient consumers throughout the growing season. My tomatoes and peppers produce noticeably more fruit in this enriched mix compared to commercial potting soils. Flowering plants thrive with the addition of 5 to 10% biochar, which creates habitat for beneficial microorganisms while improving both water retention and drainage. I've observed significantly longer blooming periods in containers with biochar-amended soil. For herbs, create a leaner mix with less compost, about 30%, and more sand and perlite, 20% each. Many culinary herbs evolved in Mediterranean conditions and develop stronger flavors when grown in soil that isn't overly rich. Long-term container plantings like shrubs benefit from 15 to 20% aged pine bark fines, which decompose slowly and maintain soil structure for years, preventing the compaction and subsidence that often occurs in large containers over time. In this section, we'll explore how to store, use, and troubleshoot your DIY potting soil mix. Proper storage ensures longevity, and understanding common issues can help you maintain healthy plants. Make larger batches than immediately needed and store excess in covered containers. Large plastic totes work perfectly. Keep stored mix in a sheltered location, not completely sealed from air, as some microbial activity benefits the mix. Before using stored soil, wake it up by moistening it 24 hours before planting to reactivate beneficial microorganisms. When filling containers, never compress the soil. Add your mix gradually, gently tapping the pot occasionally to settle naturally, leaving an inch of space below the rim for watering. For existing container plants that need refreshing, remove the top inch of old soil and replace with a mix of 70% compost and 30% of your basic potting mix. This rejuvenates the container without the stress of complete repotting. Water running straight through without being absorbed indicates hydrophobic soil. Add a few drops of dish soap to your watering can, around 2 to 3 drops per gallon, and water slowly. The soap acts as a surfactant, helping water penetrate dry soil. White crusty buildup on container surfaces signals salt accumulation from fertilizers. Leach the container by running water through it for several minutes, allowing complete drainage. Consider switching to organic slow-release fertilizers which cause less salt buildup. Waterlogged containers, despite good soil, often have blocked drainage holes. Clear them using a wooden skewer and consider placing landscape fabric over drainage holes in future plantings to prevent blockage while allowing water passage. Green or white mold on the soil surface indicates excessive moisture with poor air circulation. Scrape off the affected layer, allow the surface to dry between waterings, and improve airflow around your containers. Living soil is a dynamic ecosystem, teeming with beneficial microbes that support plant health. By nurturing this soil, you're creating a sustainable environment that encourages robust growth and resilience. Remember, healthy soil means healthy plants. Thank you for joining us on this journey to create your own DIY potting soil. Happy gardening! The most transformative insight from my years of soil crafting is understanding that we're not just creating growing medium. We're cultivating a living ecosystem. Commercial sterile mixes prioritize shelf life over biological activity. Our homemade mixes teem with beneficial microorganisms that form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, enhancing nutrient availability and improving plant immunity. Plants grown in biologically active soil develop more extensive root systems and demonstrate greater resilience during heat waves, watering irregularities, or pest pressure. They recover more quickly and maintain productivity when others fail, thanks to the complex web of soil life fostered through our DIY approach. Keep notes on your mixes and plant responses, adjusting future batches based on observations. Your soil will evolve along with your gardening practice, becoming more effective each season while saving you hundreds of dollars annually. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive into DIY potting soil creation. If you found these insights valuable for your container gardening journey, please subscribe to Hydrohaven for more practical money-saving garden wisdom. Share this video with fellow gardeners looking to improve their container results while reducing costs. Drop your soil crafting experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how these techniques work for you. Until next time, happy growing.